Hope you all had a good Christmas. You can tell by the smirk on my face, you know what I'm about to review. If you didn't read the title, which that is completely impossible because the title's right there for you to click the thumbnail. Yep, here we go.
Stay tuned after the episode for an exclusive look inside the world of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
And now the Starz original series, Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Let's do this! That was a bit over the top, I do apologise. So this episode starts off with a recap like all the other episodes. It's starting to make sense now because when Fisher says your hand grew another you, and then in that episode we saw the hand crawling, and I was like, hang on a minute, that's not a hand, it's an arm. That's because it grew basically another Ash, and I was thinking it should be a hand, not an arm, so that's why it's an arm, because it grew out of Ash. So that really confused me there, but now that's all been answered. So then the episode kicks in, and we see Pablo and Kelly watching over Fisher's dead body, and they each say, "What the fuck?" And then two Ashes burst in. Ash and his imposter. I'm going to keep that. Ash and his imposter burst in, fighting each other. And so Kelly and Pablo are now confused, and they don't know which one to shoot. And so Ash and the imposter go over Kelly and Pablo's past. And then they still don't know which one to shoot. And that gets the audience going and going, hang on a minute, which one's the real Ash? And me personally, I didn't know which one was the real Ash. And so Ash, or his imposter, obviously you don't know which one it is because they're identical, says, why not shoot us both? Because this asshole will be dead, and I won't have to deal with any more of this crap. Kelly then replies with, okay, and shoots the imposter. There you go. He be dead. What was that? So Ash, Pablo and Kelly have a little discussion of what to do with the dead bodies. That would be the imposter, Ash and Fisher. And then they get distracted by the hitchhikers who we saw in the previous episode. And they want to crash in the cabin. In other words, stay at the cabin because they got lost. And one of the male hitchhikers mentions the trees. They look, they got lost by the trees. And I'm thinking, is there going to be a scene with the trees? I don't know. I hope so, because then it's classic Evil Dead then. And then there's a funny scene right here where Ash goes, Pablo, Kelly, can I talk to you for a second? And he's going, we can't let them crash here because blah, 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 blah. And the hitchhikers are right in front of them, and he's just there going, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh god. So Pablo and Kelly show the hitchhikers away through the woods, and they're basically just, just walking them through the woods, just as you do. And then it cuts back to a scene where Ash is back at the cabin, slicing and dicing his imposter. And when I mean slicing and dicing, I mean it. It literally shows Ash with his chainsaw cutting his imposter in so much detail, in gruesome detail. He starts off with a leg, then he goes on to the head, and you can literally see it just as the chainsaw's going to the leg. You can see the bone sticking out and everything. It's going. But because this guy is on the floor, the blood is spilling. It's spilling basically towards the book, and that obviously resurrects whatever's. I suppose it doesn't resurrect, but it gives the book more. I want to say life. Okay, life gives it more life. and so the book starts to talk to Ash, which was something we've never seen before. I don't think. No, we haven't. So the book is trying to basically persuade Ash that Ash needs it. He needs the book because without it, he's nothing. If he buries the book, he's just going to be a stock boy again, back at the store. And the book even said, "I'm what makes you special." And I get what he means by that because we all know the ass-kicking Ash more than we did from the pussy Ash like in Evil Dead. So we know more the Ash from Evil Dead 2 and 3. It's like whenever people cosplay Ash, they go as that Ash. No one with the chainsaw and the boomstick. No one ever goes as the Ash with the either axe or the shotgun, because everyone relates to the chainsaw wielding Ash. And so Ash is like, "Oh no, we've gone through this many times." Basically, it's just telling it to shut up. So he puts it in the fridge. He then makes his way back through into the living room. As he's doing so, he's basically talking to himself, saying like, Amanda, which is Fisher, Amanda, I'm sorry what I'm going to do to you by chopping you up into little pieces. Well, maybe I can just have a little peek. And then he goes through the archway of the door and she's gone. She's off the horns. And so Ash is looking around the cabin, cannot see her anywhere. And then it cuts back to Kelly, Pablo and the hitchhikers in the woods. And as they're walking and talking, they get distracted by the trees which are rustling. And obviously it's a false alarm. It's a raccoon that they shoot to death. Poor little fella. Anyway, so they shoot a raccoon. And so they walk off again. But this time, again, they get distracted. And Pablo just goes to shoot first, but one of the hitchhikers stops him. And his wife steps in next to him. She gets killed, obviously by a deadite. And I was like, who the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Because her death scene we first of all, we just saw an arm just stick right through her chest. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I thought it was like part of a tree or something. Which would have been really strange, but no. It's Amanda. She's now a deadite, and I thought she looked really cool as a deadite. And then she kills the husband hitchhiker. As he turns around, he gets, I wouldn't say stabbed in the head, but Amanda puts her hand right through his head, and then she holds up the two of them, and then makes them talk, as she's talking, like a puppet on a string. Pablo then drops to the ground, starts reloading along with Kelly, and then as they both stand up, they go to shoot Amanda. She then holds the two bodies in front of her like a shield, and instead they shoot the two hitchhiker bodies instead of Amanda. She then parts them, throws them at Pablo and Kelly, and then she goes after the hitchhiker that Pablo liked. I really need to start learning people's names. Yeah, she starts running after the blonde hitchhiker. Fisher then catches up with the hitchhiker. This kind of got really strange. It was like, this is what I like to call a mind fuck up. See, when she catches up with the hitchhiker, she's on the ground. The hitchhiker's on the ground, and obviously she's freaking out, so she's walking back like that. Fisher's walking towards her, scratching her. I think she scratches part of her neck, and then she starts to work her way up to the face. It made me laugh actually. And then she gets on top of her, starts moaning. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? You know. And then Pablo finally comes in. So it's like, oh, leave her alone, leave her alone. But before doing that, we get an awesome shot of Amanda's face is the Deadite, holding up the hitchhiker. Here you go. Okay, so that, I mean, she looks really good as a Deadite. Okay, so then she picks up Pablo and she's choking him. We then hear a whistle from the background, and then this hooded figure flips into the frame. Straight away I knew it was Ruby, mainly because, one, we hadn't seen her for a while, and two, last time we saw her she was wearing a hoodie, and well, pretty much you could see half of her face anyway. So she knocks Fisher to the ground, and then Fisher, as a Deadite, is bullshitting, saying, "Oh, Ash did this to me." And Pablo's like, "Don't believe her, she's lying." So then she pulls out a dagger, not the Kandarian dagger that we saw in Evil Dead 1 and 2. It's a different type of dagger. She pulls out a dagger, and she wants the truth. She wants to know where Ash is. And then, being the good Deadeye that she is, she turns back to her normal self, and she says to Ruby, "The truth is, we can still be together." And Ruby replies with, "I'd like that, but our time has not yet come." The hitchhiker then wakes up by the tree and screams her head off. Ruby then looks round, and Fisher has disappeared. The reason why the hitchhiker screamed is because it's a reason that we would not want to be in, because it is a reason that I cringed. Her bone is sticking out of her leg in great detail, and I was, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Fucking hell, Jesus Christ!" Because it gets straight to it, and I was like, "Fuck, Jesus! I do not want that to happen." So Pablo patches up the hitchhiker, and we get double the slice and dicing. Ruby is now cutting up the two hitchhikers that Fisher killed, because I've got a quote here. "The only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment." Get in there. Yes. Okay. Back to the review. That felt good. Anyway, so yeah, she's cutting whatever she's got to do, and Pablo's being all like the hard man, because he's got his arm wrapped around the hitchhiker, and he's being the hard man, going, "Yeah, I get in their way too. I sometimes kill them." And I'm like, "Pablo, you fucking douche." But anyway, now Ruby really wants to find Ash, and she then explains to Pablo and Kelly that I'm going to stop Ash turning these people into monsters. And Kelly's like, "Ash fights the monsters." Oh no, sorry, she says, "Ash fights them, he doesn't turn people into them." And then Ruby says, "He still has that book, doesn't he?" And so she turns to Pablo and says, "Take me to him." And then it cuts back to Ash back at the cabin. He walks outside, grabs his boomstick, turns around, and bumps into Ruby. And then they have all this back chat towards each other. Funniest thing about this scene is that Ash, and I know we've never seen this before, Ash has names for his chainsaw and his boomstick. He calls them Mo and Larry. Moving on, Ruby tells Ash that it's no good burying it. You can't bury it 6 feet under. In other words, you've got to dismantle it. Because Ash's plan was to go into the cabin, down into the cellar, bury it there, that's where they found it, and then put it to rest. No, it's got to be dismantled. Ruby then pulls out the dagger and says it has to be destroyed with this. I was wrong, it is the Kandarian dagger. The reason why I didn't recognise it is because it didn't have the skull face on it like he did in Evil Dead 1 and 2. It's basically like just a bone and then a knife on the end of it. Kinda wish they would have brought the classic dagger back, but there you go. And so Ash, Pablo and Kelly have a debate whether to tag along with Ruby to destroy the book. So they're back at the cabin, and Ruby says you must tear the face from the book. No matter how hard it is, no matter how much it gets, you cannot stop. So Ash takes the dagger, tears the face from the book, in great detail, of course. As he's stabbing it, you see the blood come out, and then he tears the face off the book. Straight away reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, where Leatherface is making his new face. Ash then tosses the face to one side of the room, and is now holding a skinned book. Just the face part, just this part of the book is skinned. And he's just standing there, and Ruby's like, "Why'd you stop?" And Ash is like, "Well, don't I at least get to say goodbye to it after all that we've been through?" And Ruby's like, "It's been 30 years, you need to let it go." And so he does. He hands the book to Ruby, and then she opens up the book and starts doing all this ooga booga talk, which resurrects the stuff in the woods, within the woods, if you get what I mean. So everything in the woods is basically coming to life now. Then, in my opinion, I think it pays homage to the Mask film with Jim Carrey, because the face of the skin is pulling itself off the floor. Pablo's necklace, which he got from his burned uncle, starts going crazy. It pulls his necklace towards the skin face of the book, and Pablo is being pulled towards the face. The face then latches onto his, and he can't get it off, and that kind of reminds me of The Mask with Jim Carrey. Ash then grabs the book in Ruby's hands and says, "Stop this, you don't know what you're doing." She then pushes him to one side using the power of the book. She walks up to him, and then oh my god, she says, "Of course I know what I'm doing. I wrote this book." My instant reaction to that was, "Fucking hell, oh my god!" It was like that. I kid you not, that was my reaction. And then it ends on a cliffhanger, and that has to be, like, I'm still mind blown. That has to be the best Evil Dead comeback in years. Oh, well, 30 years actually. That's it. That's the end of episode 9. Can't wait for episode 10. But it's like, we all know that the book was inked in human flesh, bound in human flesh and inked in human blood. She inked the book. Fuck knows what episode 10 has in store. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned next Saturday, because oh my god, this episode has been amazing. Hope you all had a great Christmas, and I will see you next time. It's a good show. I got this shirt in time for Christmas actually, because I put it on for this review especially, so it's good timing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Oh my god, can't wait for episode 10. Yes, Evil Dead is back. Well, anyway, bye.